Yeah, there are different perceptions which say that there are good times during the year and not so good times, and these times are considered as really bad times. The first and second temples were destroyed at that time. The Spanish exile took place at that time. And I really wanted to ask you, are there such times during which there's bad luck, times in which there are disasters, a cursed time? Is there something like that? Could I believe that? Yeah? Times for better, times for worse, of course. It says so, and it truly is so. If I see throughout history the ninth of Av, this one day during the year, specifically according to the Jewish calendar, because according to the foreign calendar or the Muslim calendar, it moves. But specifically according to the Jewish calendar, there is one day during the year. I'm not talking about the times of Ben Amitzarim. Before that, everything's bad, but there's this one day during the week that it's in the times of the Holocaust, and if we go back, we can see different events with Bogdan Khmelnytsky, all the problems and troubles in Russia and in the Ukraine, all the exiles from different countries. You can go into the internet and see a list, a very big, long list. And the main thing is the destruction, the disaster and destruction of the second temple and the destruction of the first temple before that. And in between these dates, it's a period every year, and especially the ninth of Av is the worst day. So what do you do? What do you do about it? So you go to the wisdom of Kabbalah. And from the wisdom of Kabbalah, we get an explanation that this entire world has a root. And the root is called the upper world. So everything that happens in the upper world, it comes down as a projection onto our world. What does it mean, the upper world? What happens there? There's like our world, where our world is the matter of still, vegetative, animate, people, this entire universe and everything that's inside it, and Earth and everything that's on Earth, that moves on Earth. All these things, which are the four forms of the still, vegetative, animate, and speaking. Speaking, you mean humans. Yeah, it also belongs to the animate level. The truth is that in nature there are three levels. Still, vegetative, and animate, and man also belongs to the animate level. But we discern an additional discernment in humans that have the potential to be higher than this world, than the still, vegetative, and animate, and therefore is called the speaking level. And the wisdom of Kabbalah explains that our entire universe has a kind of a system above it. Above it, meaning that it controls it, it determines it, and this is why we say above. There's no above and below in the universe. You understand? The universe itself is such that even if you leave Earth, you don't have above and below anymore. But there is a system, or more simply put, that it encompasses our universe and controls it. Do we see it? Do we feel it? No, we don't see and we don't feel it. So, there are people that are called Kabbalists, which attain. Attainment, it's not in your eyes, or in some sense, or in taste. It's not in vision, hearing, smell, taste, or touch. Not in our five bodily senses. But in an additional sense, which people develop, which is an additional sense called the force of bestowal. And in this force of bestowal, or by that force of bestowal, we discover this system that controls, that governs our world. And then we discover that in that system which controls our world, there are different phenomena. And there is also a phenomena there called spiritual time, this upper time, where this upper time, it comes as a projection, as an influence over our universe, and moves all the stars and the planets and everything there is inside our universe, and also influences Earth, also the still, which is Earth with all of its phenomena, and the vegetative and the animate, and also people. And among the people, also the people of Israel. Everyone, but we're now talking about the people of Israel. And also, in the people of Israel, or with respect to the people of Israel, there are times for better and times for worse. And more or less, this is a constant form that behaves this way all the time. And when we learn this system, we see that there's nothing you can do. That's fate on behalf of the system. When we learn the system a bit deeper, we start discovering that we can influence the system from below on our behalf. And we can even change the matter of time. That the bad things, we can mitigate them so much that we can even invert them from bad to good. Meaning people that exist in this world, and everything is, and everyone is operated and influenced by the upper system under certain conditions. If they accept these conditions upon themselves, they can enter the system. They have a code. And by that code, they can enter the system and start making changes in it, programming it anew, so that good commands will come to our world. This is what we learn in the wisdom of Kabbalah. But without entering this system and influencing it for our benefit, the system does exist according to the axis of time. There are many axes that control our world. So according to the time axis, which is the main axis on which different other phenomena dresses on. So, according to the time axis, we're influenced for better or for worse in different ways. It's both particularly, personally, also on the family level, also complete nations, and especially the people of Israel, and within the people of Israel, and all of humanity. In short, we see that there are historical phenomena here, and accordingly we can see things. But what do we see in the history of this world? Along all the geological periods, and then the historical periods of humanity, and then the people of Israel, we see that there are orders that come from above, meaning forces that operate our world, and in our world, they're really active. And we see results from these forces. And if so, then surely it's very interesting for us. How can we influence that system? But undoubtedly, there are times for better and times for worse. And the system, it behaves, even though that it's ready to receive from us some kind of a correction in its influence over us. But to begin with, it goes and constantly influences us according to different periods, like the times Ben HaMetzarim, the 3 weeks, and different other times. Suppose like the times around Purim. These are good times. There, it's good to have as many good and nice events as possible, because there's a kind of a luck, support. And here, it's the opposite. What does it mean that there is luck or no luck? It means that there is a general system that is working on supporting people or in supporting people in a way that it doesn't get any bad influences from it. Even though, whether we want it or not, we all influence the upper system. But there are such times where we influence the other system, but it doesn't really shake it up and cause a bad result that comes back at us. And there are times that all those bad influences that the system didn't get then during the good times, it accumulates them for the bad times and then it brings it down upon us and we see that it's ben hametzarim. It's like giving account for everything. Yeah.